Listeners, welcome back to the Holo Health Podcast. I'm
We're
with
here,
my
baby.
main man, Alex. Not going triple name this time, just Alex.
I appreciate that.
Some people call him AC. You got to mix it up for the listeners. Hey, listeners, we mentioned in the last episode 50. If you didn't listen to that, go listen and then come back to this episode. But in this episode, we are getting really just getting back into our weekly rhythms, recording podcasts and getting back into social media and all the things that we're creating content specifically to help you pursue health in every area. One of those that is going to start back soon is the 3 and 30 newsletter. Alex has written over 100 editions, and we're working on actually revising and getting all those up on our new website. If you don't know, we have a new website update. Go check it out. But check it out. For today's episode, we're actually going to go through an older 3 and 30 newsletter. I picked this one out because I think Alex absolutely slayed this edition. So kudos, Alex. And we're just going to go right into this episode, and we're going to unpack each point, and we're going to provide you with actionable steps for what you can do from those thoughts or things that you can provoke more intentional thought about how you can improve health in every area. So in this episode, you're going to end with at least one thing you can do to start today improving your health in every area. Alex, you ready?
Trevor, what's different about this is it wasn't fresh in my mind a couple days ago when I wrote this. So it's just going to be more of us unpacking rather than, oh, hey, I literally just wrote this a couple days ago. Let's talk about where this came from. We're just going to hit it together.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see multiple screens, more than likely. And you can see the new design on the website. Alex has filtered the 3 and 30s into different categories that you can click on and learn more. If you're listening on Spotify, you can just go on holohealth.com, click resources, and you'll find the newsletter. It'll take you right to that page, and you can see what we're talking about. But the title of this 3 and 30 that Alex wrote is called Irresponsibility, the Top 3 Lies in Life to the Full. He wrote this edition on September 29th, 2022.
Dude, that was like a year and a half ago.
Dude, fun fact, that's like almost the 6-year anniversary of Aaron and I's first date. But that has nothing to do with this episode, so we're going to keep moving and grooving. Point number 1, Alex said, I want to unpack with you. It's on irresponsibility. It says, if you don't take care of your own health now, someone else will have to later. Because one's irresponsibility always turns into someone else's responsibility. This is kind of like a core foundation of stewardship here. But let's just run through this, dude. What was going through your mind September 29th, 2022?
Man, all right, let me go back and remember what I was thinking about 18 months ago.
You were thinking about me, and then you started to think about how I don't care about my health, and then it's becoming your problem.
No, I actually do remember where this came from, honestly. This has a very big relational health component and a very big spiritual health component. The first place most people think about is your physical health. That if I have a bunch of like physical ailments and my kids are going to have to take care of me, or honestly, I think this is most prevalent relationally and spiritually. The analogy I like to just set this up with is I have young kids. We try to bathe them or shower them frequently, and they do not pick up their towels. We try to teach them, hey, pick up your towels and go hang it up, because it's not mom's responsibility or dad's responsibility. It's your responsibility if you're using your towel. But we walk in the room and there's a towel on the floor. They're essentially saying, hey, I'm not going to pick that up. My irresponsibility. Dad, you pick it up. When I have to pick up their wet towel on their floor, my responsibility came from their irresponsibility. That's just a common fact of doing life with one another. But when it comes to your health, it is very, very true, especially with your family or the people that you do life with. Because here's the deal. As we age, health is not limited, but health looks different in season to season, right? And I believe that as we age, even from me 10 years ago, my health looks different than what it was 10 years ago, is my health is going to be a lot more amplified or on a pedestal or for people to see from the habits that I've been doing over the past 1, 5, and 10 years. So what
Mhm.
I'm doing previously ultimately led me to where I am today, meaning when we are in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, that's going to be the culmination of all the health habits that we've done in our 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Okay,
Yeah.
so if we are neglecting our health on the front end, a lot of times people are experiencing chronic conditions. They're going to the nursing home much quicker. They're having other people literally change them and feed them because they just didn't take care of themselves. Some of this is out of their control, but some of this is in their control. And I'm speaking that out of simply just family experience. I have one set of grandparents that they did not pursue a truly healthy life, and they're 10 years younger than all their other counterparts, and they are having extra help because they just neglected it. On the other side, it's the complete opposite. They are 10 years older than everyone else that what they're doing because they have the freedom and the less unnecessary limitations to experience life well on into their years, and they are not requiring everybody else to pick this up. So there's that relational component there. And the last part I was going to say is the spiritual component is this is a biblical mandate if we claim to be Jesus followers, Trevor, that we are called to carry one another's burdens. We're not called to demand other people to carry our burdens. We pursue a truly healthy life, so we have the physical, mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual capacity to love and carry other people's burdens. But when we are neglecting our health and we don't have the capacity to even carry what we're required to carry ourselves, we can't carry one another's burdens like Jesus calls us to. So that's why it's mission critical to first let's take care of ourselves so we can be good stewards, but also to love one another and care one other burdens for other people when they're experiencing that. So that's kind of where it comes down to the scriptural component. But I'll be done. I could keep riffing.
I'm a listener and I want to take more responsibility. First off, before you even get there, I think it's great that this is not just physical related. Of course, why would it be? Because health isn't just physical. But you gave like actual examples of relational and spiritual health, how when we're not taking care of that area of our health, it's going to be put onto someone else later. So I'm a listener and I want to practically begin to be responsible. What are you suggesting?
Go to holohealth.com, click click
All right.
start here,
No,
and
no. You could. If you haven't, that you could, but go ahead.
Trevor, I'm gonna kick it
I
to you. Where would you
good.
suggest
I
them?
was I was about to say.
Because I have an idea, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Listeners, if you feel like, here's the deal. There's so many things that you could do for your health. There are so many things. Truly. I could list I bet I could list 50 things you can do for your health right now.
I bet we could together list 50 things.
We don't need to. That would take way
Ready?
too much time
3,
in the list.
2,
Nope.
1.
The listeners are going to turn off the episode. Please don't. Actually,
No,
I want you to
you're
lean.
just gonna sign off.
Yeah, I am going to sign off. Listeners, stay with us because I really think this is about to provide a lot of value and then practical, tangible steps for you. There's a lot of things you can do. The 7 habits of health were created in a way that are simple, yet will require effort for you. More than likely, you're a busy Christian who wants to be healthy in every area. And if that's the reality, there are some things that you can do that are what we would call the irreducible minimums to nourish your health, to steward your health well while being busy. And when we say steward it, you're taking responsibility, you're owning the responsibility of your health. And so we actually created a guide that will help you understand exactly what you should do and how you should spend the time and what you should spend the time on. Even inside of that, we give you a nutritional approach that you can apply anywhere you go, workouts that you can apply anywhere you do. We give you a practical outline. This is the coolest part for how to read scripture, how to spend time in God's word and spend time in prayer. And then outside of that, we talk about the other areas that really impact and move the needle for your health. This is literally my go-to plan when life is busy. It
Yeah.
is exactly what I do. And I put my money where my mouth is on this because about 7-ish, 8 months ago, I stopped working at the gym that Alex owns, and I transitioned back to the 9 to 5, the corporate life. And I love my job. I love what I get to do, and I love that I get to be a part of Holo Health outside of those hours. But I had to put my money where my mouth is, and I don't want to be irresponsible today at the sake of someone else's expense tomorrow. And
Yeah.
so I literally followed this outline, and I put together this guide and got Alex to proofread it because I have a lot of typos. And so I want to offer this guide to you guys for free. If you go to holohealth.com/60 minutes, 60 minutes, you can get that guide. We talked about it in episode 50, but it's also in the show notes. This is the easiest way, like practically, to take responsibility for your health. I can't think of another outline that is better. I have not seen anything like this. And this is talking about improving your faith, your physical health, and then because of that, the other areas of your health will improve, and you're not overextending time on the physical elements at the expense of the other elements. That's
Dude,
my 2-minute spiel.
we call them the biggest needle movers of health. I love that phrase. I've never heard it anywhere else, but I think we just said that one day in a meeting, and we're like, dude, like what moves the needle the most? The biggest needle movers. But they're the biggest needle movers. Just like we said, we could list off 50 things that are going to improve your health. Some of them may improve your health on a 1 out of 10 scale. Some of them may improve your health on a 9 out of 10 scale. Let's focus on the biggest slices of the pie first. This guide outlines what the biggest slices are and how to tackle the biggest slices.
Boom. That was a good first one. We don't want to be irresponsible. We want to be responsible so that it
Trevor,
doesn't turn into someone else's responsibility.
speaking of typos, literally when you said that, I know the listeners can't see it on the recording, but the system we're using on our recording, I typed in my name on this virtual recording. Do you see my name right now?
Yeah, it's typo.
Literally said typo. I don't think I've ever done that before. I spelled my name
Yes, you have.
Alew. I have not spelled my name Alewx.
Oh, I thought you were saying you've never done a typo. I was like, you
Oh, I've
definitely have
done
done
a
a typo.
typo. But honest, this is a quick sidebar. Out of every one typo that Alex has, Trevor has about 17. For people that don't know Trevor and his typing skills, just because he's so smart and his brain is going so fast.
Biggest weakness, typos. Point number 2. This is about the 3 lies. That's the subject, if you will, of this point. We'll hit this one and then we'll jump into. We'll share a little bit on it. I've got some thoughts.
Yeah.
Alex, I might just pass you on this one, truthfully. Research shows the top 3 areas that people lie to themselves about are how much they eat, how much they drink, and how much they exercise. The question that Alex posed here is, are you being fully honest with yourself? Really? Alex loves to tap on the why after the question or the really after the question to actually make you think more deeply about this. So it's about what you eat, what you drink, what you exercise. The takeaway here is that we're looking to nourish our body through the foods we eat, the things we drink, and move our body to steward it well so that we can improve and love other people outside of the gym. A lot of people think they eat better than they do. A lot of people think they drink, less than they do, whether it's, carbonated beverages, sodas, or alcoholic beverages. And then a ton of people think they exercise more than they actually do. Here's the takeaway here is that there's this application for you is going to be more specific to your life and your goals and exactly what you want to see. But from a stewardship perspective, God wants us to nourish our body through foods. That includes the things that we drink. And he wants us to move our bodies because we're designed to move. We're not designed to be sedentary. So for you, honestly, I would go and just look at a week. Literally look at week. Go look at your last week whenever you listen to this episode. And then I would make a tally mark of how many times you ate meals at home versus 8 meals out. And then the next thing I would do is how many drinks that you had outside of, water, carbonated water, soda, or sparkling water. And then I would go look at the week and then see how many times you exercise for 30 minutes or more, but at least 30 minutes of exercise, and tally it. That's a real way to be honest with yourself. Now, from that point is you get to establish what your goals are. If you have questions about that, you can reach out to us, or you could look at becoming a member of the Holo Collective, where we're helping people learn and establish those goals and rhythms for themselves, and then put those things into application in their lives. But that's what I would share in terms of how to really be honest with yourself about these three different areas.
Trevor, why do you think people lie to themselves about these areas?
Because they want to manifest or envision a life that they desire, but maybe aren't there completely. They want a desired state, and a lot of times we lie to ourselves to kind of, mentally
Feel
put ourselves there and feel
feel,
better.
feel better about themselves. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
and
it's
we're
just
both.
purely.
What I was going to say is like we're both, fault at this as well. I don't think I necessarily lie to myself about these three, but I'll lie to myself about like how I feel about time in the Word, and if I feel like I spend enough time in the Word, or
Yeah,
justifying actions. Maybe I want to do something that really loves and serves Erin every single day, and then
yeah,
I can justify it and say like, well, I made her breakfast and coffee like I usually do, and that's like it's great, it's awesome, and she really loves it and values it, but Jesus isn't inviting us to check a box. He's inviting us to steward all areas of our life well, so that he may be loved, honored, and glorified, and other people may know him because of our actions. So it's a totally different
yeah,
perspective shift on it.
yeah. I'll make this really quick, then we can move on to point 3. Is I asked a question, why do you think people lie? But then if we take a step even further, it's like, okay, why do we lie to begin with? Like, why are we even lying to ourselves? We know the actual truth. We tell ourselves we only drank 7 drinks, where in reality we drank 10. We were there. I drank all 10. Why did I only tell myself 7? Because if we actually dig a little bit deeper, we lie to ourselves, which is a weird phenomenon if you think about it, because we're trying to protect ourselves of reality. We're trying to protect, it's a self-protective mechanism of saying, hey, here's where you really are. But the reason I bring this up is because you cannot become truly healthy, and God cannot transform you into his image until you truly know where you are. You will not have ears to hear the truth when you are constantly believing lies. The starting point of a truly healthy life, yes, is God, but we need to know where we are actually. There can't be any hiding points. There can't be things in secret. There can't be things in the dark. We need to know, okay, this is who I really am. I struggle with X, Y, and Z. I drink too much here. I don't work out ever. When we fully paint the picture and say, this is where I am. And I see this a lot, I would say early on, of people trying to become truly healthy. And then people get to a point, they're like, hey, listen, this is just me. I'm just going to be honest. I'm done hiding. I'm done trying to put on a facade. And then we can be, okay, we can help you take steps. But until you actually take the mask off and actually say, okay, hey, this is me, not who I'm trying to be, but this is the real me, then God can actually meet the real you where you are at as you surrender yourself every single morning, because then God can transform you. He can't transform the fake you because the fake you doesn't even exist. It's imaginary you. We need to let
Right.
the real you show so God can actually do a work in us.
That's good. I'll read point number 3, and then this is more of a let's define the terms type point, which is awesome. We're big on making sure that we understand the right definition. Point 3 says, Jesus invites everyone to experience life to the full. John 10:10 states, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. A full life consists of energy, strength, health, vitality, and peace. Contrastingly, an empty life consists of unnecessary levels of tiredness, busyness, stress, anxiety, and this sums up the most common felt experience in culture today. An empty life is not a healthy life. A full life is a truly healthy life. Alex, I think this point is awesome because this isn't really like, hey, let's unpack this and talk about the practical action steps from here, but this is a clear contrast. Culture is moving towards this empty life, this running on empty lifestyle that is overly tired, overly busy, stressed out to the max unnecessarily, and just ridden with anxiety. That's not God's intention. That's not Jesus's invitation that we see in John 10:10. We recognize the problem. We recognize that God's version and God's design of health is bigger and better. And that's why we have articulated this design and want people to experience this full life, this truly healthy life. Where would you suggest people start? Say I'm listening to it and I'm like, man, I'm running on empty. I'm tired all the time and stressed unnecessarily. I'm interested in this life to the full, but I need to know where to start Holo Health.
I mean, I would kind of go back to the biggest needle movers of your faith or of your health. I would go back to 7 habits, but I would also, it's hard to put like a blanket statement on because some people, it might be just you are working too much. You are working 16-hour days and you are on, and I would start with margin. Some people are not doing enough and they're sleeping way too much, and we need to put a little pep in their step and we need to start working out. So it really comes down to your unique situation, but odds are you at least have a hunch of where one of those starting points are. What we can also do, Trevor, is we have a true health assessment that someone can take that can basically gives them a score on each of the 7 habits. Because with some of our coaching clients, we say, okay, hey, when it comes to the practical application, your decreasing stress number was the lowest out of any other of the 7 habits. We need to unpack that and we need to figure that out because that is actually leading more towards an empty life. Your stress levels are so high. Or for other people, it might be nutrition. Everywhere else, they feel peace, they're sleeping well, but the nutrition is absolutely terrible. So we have a true health assessment that we can either attach or send that's going to help, but it's all case by case.
It is case by case. I think that a significant place for people starting is the True Health program. This is our free 4-session video experience that you can walk through. It really unpacks the difference. We talked about it in this episode of culture's version and God's version of health. And then it really talks about actionable steps inside of the program. We also have a next steps for you. We're talking about that assessment that lives in the end of this program, the next step module. That's where this assessment lives, as well as a special offer in there for those that complete the program. That's where I would encourage you to start. And that's where, Alex articulated those points. We kind of unpack all of those inside of there. We give you the 9 correct understandings of health that will help you start to pursue the truly healthy life instead of the empty life and run it on empty. So that's what I would encourage you with, listeners. All of those links, the link to the 60 minutes and the biggest needle movers of your of your health, did the same thing you did. Awesome. Is linked below in the show notes, as well as a link to the True Health program. But we hope you enjoy this episode from September, or this 3:30 that Alex wrote from September 29th, 2022. Gosh, that's almost a year and a half ago. That's amazing. We're coming up on a 2-year anniversary of the 3:30. We should think about doing something special. But listeners, we hope you enjoyed this. If you're not already, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Holo Health, or subscribed on YouTube, where you can find more content outside of our consistent weekly podcast. Alex, what do we tell the listeners every time when we say bye?
Hey, you're a legend.
Thanks, y'all. See you later.